Let's see. Looks like we have one last question here. Was asking, what is the best marketing advice you have for realtors and mortgage brokers as far as SEO, considering the rising interest rates? So I would say that's a two-part question. We'll stick to the SEO because we can't influence interest rates and what that's going to do to dampen buying activity, which, I mean, I was seeing some statistics today. I was surprised that I hadn't seen so much about it decreasing, and new home ownership or purchases, have really taken a hit, and they finally got some of the data. So I'm sure real estate realtors and mortgage brokers are definitely starting to feel the crunch.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, with interest rates and also just the cost of properties being so high, plus the interest rates, the cost of borrowing money is so high that it's becoming prohibitive to be able to purchase property right now. So what is the best marketing advice you have for realtors and mortgage brokers as far as SEO, considering the rising interest rates? I really don't know. I'm not in the real estate business anymore. I don't know. I'd have to think through that one. I can tell you one thing, like, I think we're on the verge of another real estate bubble crash, or another real estate bubble burst, crash, whatever you want to call it. I think there's a lot of, because of just the state of the economy and the value, the value of the dollar declining, which is why the cost of everything is going up. So inflation and interest rates to fight inflation and all of this kind of stuff, it's causing the value, or excuse me, the prices to inflate for property as well. And, it's cyclical. The real estate industry is cyclical. So we're probably due for another correction. And I feel like that's coming. So what I would recommend, and I always look at everything from an investor side, because that's what I did. I flipped properties. I did houses for 4 or 5 years, and then I did land for 2 years. So I always look at it like the investment side of things, not the realtor side of things. I think if realtors knew better, they would become investors and not real estate agents, right? In my opinion, that's my opinion. Anyway, so I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity to purchase properties after that crash occurs. It's just like when a stock market crash occurs, when's the best time to buy? Right after a crash. You know what I mean? Same thing with the real estate. If you guys remember in 2007, when the real estate market crashed, man, we went through several years where foreclosures, oh my God, you could buy up foreclosures. And that's where a lot of these big ass companies like BlackRock and Vanguard and all these companies out there, that these big ass global corporations started buying, I forget what it's called now, but they would buy, blocks of houses from banks that had been foreclosed on because of the economy, the big crash that occurred, and, so many foreclosures and all of that. And so they'd come in and they would buy 100 houses at a time, literally 100 houses that were foreclosed that were on Bank of America's books, for example. And those are big corporations, but I think little investors, small investors have the opportunity. And when I say small investors, I mean, some real estate investors still have a lot of money, but I'm saying as a real estate agent or realtor, I think now would be a good time to try to start developing relationships, hunting down and trying to develop relationships with real estate investors, buy and hold type investors, cash buyers, right? Because when that burst occurs, when the bubble bursts again, the crash happens, which I feel is going to happen again. And I could be wrong. I'm not in the real estate industry anymore, so I don't know, but it feels like that. And anyway, if it does occur, then that's going to be a perfect opportunity for cash buyer investors to be purchasing up a whole lot of properties. And you, as the real estate agent or broker or whatever, could insert yourself in between that and make nice, healthy commissions, right?
Yeah. I would also say too, just to add on to that, to say, while things are maybe feeling a little tight right now, hey, get in front of it and do what you can do. If you need to come back, I apologize, I don't recognize your name. If you've been following us, that's great. If not, come back and, keep asking questions. What can you do to improve your SEO? Do you need ideas for local link building to help? Are you present on maps? Have you optimized your Google business profile? What's your website doing? Start doing these things now before things really start hurting and you're like, oh crap, I got to scramble. And a lot of people will put it off until they absolutely have to have it. And if you're working on it and coming here to Hump Day Hangouts and asking questions or joining the mastermind, whatever it is, you're going to be ahead of the curve. So I'll just put that kind of in there and say, you're in the right place. Just keep asking questions and get stuff moving.
Yeah. I mean, I love the real estate. I mean, that's where I want to, invest my money is in real estate. Like an appreciating asset for the most part. It's tangible, right? With the value of the dollar crashing, then, it's kind of good to have tangibles, physical assets, real estate, precious metals, et cetera. In my opinion, at least that's kind of my strategy. So,